Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Let us see how many video on. Okay. Not 50%. Any more? Out of 34, at least 17 should be there. Okay, 17, 50% there. We are reading from Bhagavad Gita, second chapter. We discussed up to text 56, the symptoms of Sthita Prajna. How he speaks, which language he speaks, how he sits, and how he walks. Ja Sharvatra Anavisnehas Tattat Prapushbhashivam Nabhinandati Nadishti Tasya Pragya Pratishtita. Yeah. One who Sharvatra everywhere Anavisneha without affection. That Prapo achieving Shubha good, Ashubham evil. No, never. Abhinandati praises. No, never. Deshti envies. Tasya his pragya perfect knowledge. Pratishtita fixed. In the material world, one who is unaffected by whatever good or evil he may obtain, neither praising it nor dispraising it, is firmly fixed in perfect knowledge. I'm reading again. In the material world, one who is unaffected by whatever good or evil he may obtain, neither praising it nor dispraising it, is firmly fixed in perfect knowledge. How it's possible? I was just hearing from Guru Maharaj's lecture in Uddhav Gita. How would learn, what would learn from air? Air, when passes through a garden, people may praise, oh, air is so fragrant. Air knows, no, I am not fragrant. He will not be happy. And when he passes through a filthy place, people know, oh, air is so foul smelling. Air will not be affected by that. Air knows it is not my smell. In the same way, Sthita Prajna, the pure devotee, he knows I am not this body. I am the soul. So these qualities are not affected with me, attached with me, it is with my body. That is why he is fixed. There is always some upheaval in the material world, which may be good or evil. One who is not agitated by such material upheavals, who is unaffected by good and evil, is to be understood to be fixed in Krishna consciousness. As long as one is in the material world, there is always the possibility of good and evil, because this world is full of duality. But one who is fixed in Krishna consciousness is not affected by good and evil, because he is simply concerned with Krishna, who is all good absolute. Such consciousness in Krishna situates one in a perfect transcendental position called technically samadhi. Such consciousness in Krishna situates one in a perfect transcendental position called technically samadhi. How is possible? How he sits, how he walks, how he is So now is a nice example of tortoise. With the example tortoise, you can understand properly. Jada shangha rate chayam kurmo anganiva sarvasah. Indriyani indriyastebbhas tasya pragya pratishtita. Jada, when shangha rate points up, cha also, ayam, he, kurma, tortoise, angani, limbs, eva like, sarvasha, altogether. Indriyani, senses. Indriya arthabha, from the sense objects. Tasya, his, pragya, consciousness, pratishtita, fixed. One who is able to withdraw his senses from sense objects, as the tortoise draws its lens within the shell, is firmly fixed in perfect consciousness. Purport. The test of a yogi, devotee, or self-realized soul is that he is able to control these senses according to his plan. Most people, however, are servants of the senses and are thus directed by the dictation of the senses. That is the answer to the question as to how the yogi is situated. The senses are compared to venomous serpents. They want to act very loosely and without restriction. The yogi or the devotee must be very strong to control the serpents like a snake charmer. A snake charmer never allows the snakes to act independently. There are many injunctions in the revealed scriptures. Some of them are do nots and some of them are do's. Kartabya, akartabya. Unless one is able to follow the do's and the do nots, restricting oneself from sense enjoyment, it is not possible to be firmly fixed in Krishna consciousness. The best example set herein is the tortoise. The tortoise can at any moment wind up its senses and exhibit them again at any time for particular purposes. Similarly, the senses of the Krishna conscious persons are used only for some particular purpose in the service of the Lord and are withdrawn otherwise. Arjuna is being taught here to use his senses for the service of the Lord instead of for his own satisfaction. Keeping the senses always in the service of the Lord is the example set by the analogy of the tortoise who keeps the senses within. Now again question may come, how tortoise does this? Is it possible for human being? Yes, if you get higher test. Vishaya nivartante niraharasya dehina rasavarjam rasya pasya param dishta nivartate. Vishaya, objects for sense enjoyment, be nivartante, are practiced to be refrained from. Niraharasya, by negative restrictions. Dehina, for the embodied, the owner of the body, that means spirit soul. Rashavarjam, giving up the taste. Rasha, sense of enjoyment. Opi, although there is, asa, his. Param drishta, para means far superior things. Drishta, by experiencing. Paradishta, by experiencing these superior things, higher taste. Nivartate, he ceases from. Though the embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, the taste for sense objects remains. But ceasing such engagements by experiencing higher taste, he is fixed in consciousness. Unless one is transcendentally situated, it is not possible to cease from sense enjoyment. The process of restriction from sense enjoyment by rules and regulations is something like restricting a diseased person from certain types of eatables. The patient, however, neither likes such restriction nor loses his taste for eatables. Similarly, sense restriction by some spiritual process like Ashtanga Yoga in the matter of yam, niyam, asana, pranam, pratyahar, dhyan, dharana, etc., is recommended for less intelligent persons who have no better knowledge. But one who has tasted the beauty of the Supreme Lord Krishna in the course of his advancement in Krishna consciousness no longer has a taste for dead material things. Therefore, restrictions are there for the less intelligent neophytes in the spiritual advancement of life. But such restrictions are only good until one actually has a taste for Krishna consciousness. When one is actually Krishna conscious, he automatically loses his taste for pale things. How it is possible? Try. Even how it is possible? Try. Jatata. Endeavor. Jatata hi api kontyo rushasya vipaschita. Indriyani pramathini haranti pashavangmana. Jatata. While endeavoring, he certainly api, in spite of kontyo, O son of Kunti, Purushasya of a man, Vipaschita, full of discriminating knowledge. Indriyani, the senses, Pramathini, agitating. Pramad, Pramad means mad. Pramathini means agitating. Haranti, throw. Haran means steal. Or here, Haranti means throw. Haranti means stealing, losing. That means throwing. That is not within us. Prashabham, by force, mana, the mind. The senses are so strong and impetus. There are many learned, translate. The senses are so strong and impetuous, Arjun, that they forcibly carry away the mind even of a man of discrimination who is endeavoring to control them. There are many learned sages, philosophers, and transcendentalists who try to conquer the senses. But in spite of their endeavors, even the greatest of them sometimes fall victim to material sense enjoyment due to the agitated mind. Even Vishwamitra, a great sage and perfect yogi, was misled by Menaka into sex enjoyment. Although the yogi was endeavoring for sense control with severe types of penance and yoga practice. And of course, there are so many similar instances in the history of the world. Therefore, it is very difficult to control the mind and senses without being fully Krishna conscious. Without engaging the mind in Krishna, one cannot cease such material engagements. A practical example is given by Sri Jamunacharya, a great saint and devotee, who says, Jat avadhi mamo cheto Krishna padar binde navo navo rasho dhamni uddatam rantum ashi tat avadhi bata nari sangame smorjamane bhavati mukha vikaro shushtu nishtivanam cha jat avadhi, since when? Tat avadhi, from that time. Jadavadi, from that time, my mama chitta, my mind, Krishna Padaravindin, lotus feet Krishna. And when Krishna's lotus feet, Nabonavaras, newer and newer test. Tadavadi, from that time, Nari Shangame, the material test of sixth enjoyment, when it comes in my mind, Smarjamani, Bhavat Mukha Vikara. I was so ashamed, oh my, I am so rascal. I'm thinking like this. Shushtu Nishtivancha. I spit at the thought. Since my mind has been engaged in the service of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, and I have been enjoyed an ever new transcendental humor. Whenever I think of sex life with a woman, my face at once turns from it, and I spit at the thought. Krishna consciousness is such a transcendental nice thing that automatically material enjoyment becomes distasteful. It is as if a hungry man had satisfied his hunger by sufficient quantity of nutritious eatables. Maharaja Ambarish also conquered a great yogi Durvasa Muni simply because his mind was engaged in Krishna consciousness. Shavai Mano Krishna Padarvinde Bajang Shivai Kuntu Gunanuvad. So, how to do that? Practice. Sarvanangam Yukta Ashita Matparaha Vashe Jashindrani Tasya Praka Pratishtita. Tani, those senses, Sarvani, all, Shangyamma, keeping under control. Yukta, engaged. Ashita, should be situated. Matparaha, in relationship with me. Vashe, in full subjugation. He is certainly Yesha, one whose Indriyani senses, Tasya his Pragya, consciousness, Pratisthita, fixed. One who restrains his senses, keeping them under full control. He fixes his consciousness upon me, is known as a man of steady intelligence. That the highest conception of yoga perfection is Krishna consciousness is clearly explained in this verse. And unless one is Krishna conscious, it is not at all possible to control the senses. As cited above, the great sage Durvasa Muni picked a quarrel with Maharaja Ambarish, and Durvasa Muni unnecessarily became angry out of pride and therefore could not check his senses. On the other hand, the king, although not as powerful a yogi as the sage, but a devotee of the Lord, silently tolerated all the sage's injustices and thereby emerged victorious. The king was able to control his senses because of the following qualities. as mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. Very powerful. Prabhupada has quoted so many places. Shabai Mano Krishna Padar Vindayo. Mano, where? Krishna Padar Vindayo. The lotus feet. Bachangshi Vaikuntha Gunanavarna. Bachangshi, speech. Vaikuntha Gunanavarna. Describing the glories of Lord. Karo Harer Mandir Marjana Adishu. Karo, by both hands, Harer Mandir Marjana Adishu. Starting from the cleaning of the temple, all types of activities. Shrutim Chakaro Chakaro Achyuta Shatkatade. Shrutim, ear. Should engage in Achyuta Shatkatade. In ear should be engaged in the hearing Chakaro, glories of the Lord. Achyuta. Mukunda Lingalaya Darshane Drishu. Drishu. I should be engaged in Mukunda Lingalaya. Linga means form. To see the form of the Lord. Tat Vitra Gatra Sparshe Anga Sangamam. Tat Vitra Gatra Sparshe Anga Sangamam. How will engage our sparsha senses? By association with the devotees. Ghranam chatat pada sharada shurave. Ghranam, nose. How we should engage? Tat pada sharada shurave. Flower offered to the lotus feet. By smelling the flower offered to the lotus feet. Srimat Tulusha Rashanam Tadarpita. Rashanam. Tongue. How to engage tongue? Tulusha. Tulsi. Lip. After offering Tadarpita, after offering to the Lord, tasting. We can engage the tongue. Padu Harer Kshatta Padanu Sharpane. Padu. With both legs. We can engage Harer Kshatta in the dham of the Lord, traveling in these places. Shiro, Rishikesha Pada Vivandani. Shiro, head, by bowing down in the lotus feet of the Lord. Pada. Kamam Chadashe Nato Kamukamaya. Kama, kam, desire. What desire? Chadashe. Desire should be serving to the Lord. Jata Uttam Shloka Janachrayarati. In such a way, all these qualifications made him its fit to become a Mahatma Bhakta. King Ambarish fixed his mind on the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. He engaged his words in describing the abode of the Lord. His hands in cleansing the temple of the Lord. His ears in hearing the pastimes of the Lord. His eyes in seeing the form of the Lord. His body in touching the body of the devotee. His nostrils in smelling the fragrance of the flowers offered to the lotus feet of the Lord. His tongue in tasting the tulsi leaves offered to him. His legs in traveling to the holy place where his temple is situated. His head in offering obeisances unto the Lord, and his desires in fulfilling the desires of the Lord. And all these qualifications made him fit to become a Matpara devotee of the Lord. The word Matpara is most significant in this connection. How one can become Matpara is described in the life of Maharaja Ambarish. Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan, a great scholar and acharya in the line of the Matpara, remarks, Mat Bhakti Prabhavena Sarvendriya Vijayo Purvaika Shatmadrishti Shulaveti Bhavaha. The senses can be completely controlled only by the strength of the devotional service to Krishna. Also, the example of fire is sometimes given. As a blazing fire burns everything within a room, Lord Vishnu, situated in the heart of the yogi, burns up all kinds of impurities. The Yoga Sutra also prescribes meditation on Vishnu and not meditation on the void. The so-called yogis who meditate on something other than the Vishnu form simply waste their time in a vain search after some phantasmagoria. We have to be Krishna conscious, devoted to the personality of Godhead. This is the aim of real yoga. Now, jatato, one should practice. Even practicing falls. How one falls down? We know there is a step. The progress. What is the progress? Progress is Shraddha, faith, then associated devotees, then Bhajan Kriya, Anartha Nivritti. This is progress. Now, from 62, what are the steps of downfall? From 62, this downfall. How one down? Dhyato Vishan Puto, Shangaste Shupajayate, Shangat Shangjayate Kamo, Kamat Kruda Vijayate. Dhyato, while contemplating Vishwan, sense objects, Pungsha of a person, Shanga attachment, Teshu, in the sense objects. Teshu means to them. Where? In them. In them means here, the sense objects. Upajayate develops. Shanga, from Shanga, from attachment. Sanjayate develops. Kama, desire. And from desire, kamat krodho. And from desire, anger, abhijayate becomes manifest. While contemplating the objects of the senses, a person develops attachment for them, and from such attachment, lust develops, and from lust, anger arises. One who is not Krishna conscious is subjected to material desires while contemplating the objects of the senses. The senses require real engagements, and if they are not engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, they will certainly seek engagement in the service of materialism. In the material world, everyone, including Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, to say nothing of other demigods in the heavenly planets, is subjected to the influence of sense objects. And the only method to get out of this puzzle of material existence is to become Krishna conscious. Lord Shiva was deep in meditation, but when Parvati agitated him for sense pleasure, he agreed to the proposal. And as a result, Kartika was born. When Haridas Thakur was a young devotee of the Lord, he was similarly allured by the incarnation of Mayadevi, but Haridas Thakur easily passed the test because of his unalloyed devotion to Lord Krishna. As illustrated in the above mentioned verse of Sri Jamanacharya, a sincere devotee of the Lord shuns all material sense enjoyment due to his higher taste for spiritual enjoyment in the association of the Lord. That is the secret of success. One who is not, therefore, in Krishna consciousness, however powerful he may be in controlling the senses, by artificial repression is sure ultimately to fail. For the slightest thought of sense pleasure will agitate him to gratify his senses. So here we read how, from where first contemplating sense objects, just contemplating. I saw a nice sweet. Oh, why I should not eat? By seeing, develops attachment. And from the attachment, oh, I want this last. And if he does not give, from like anger arises. After anger, what will arise? We'll eat tomorrow. After anger, from anger, delusion arises. And from delusion, bewilderment of memory. And from bewilderment memory, intelligence is lost. When intelligence is lost, one falls down again into material pool. These are the stages of downfall. So one should be very careful from the very beginning. So, if I don't cautious, then precaution now, it will going to happen. Like the coronavirus. When you see so many people are dying due to contamination. So I should be away from that type of contamination. I should not go out, lockdown. I should use mask. I use sanitizer. So when you understood that this is very contagious and very deadly disease, we take precaution. In the same way, no one want to lose our Krishna consciousness. No one want to fall down. But when you see these are the steps, if any steps you find, we should take about turn. Oh, I am so attached to that. Anger will come. I lose my memory. Better, I should not be attached. For the very beginning, that is why English word. Out of sight, out of mind. Out of sight, I have not seen, and out of mind. I have not ever heard what is mobile. I have not seen mobile, I haven't heard about mobile, not seen. So no attachment. But I have seen, I have used, naturally, attachment in it. Hare Krishna. Okay, Gaurangi Bharadwaj.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, I have a question from previous class that yesterday we read about Muni. So Muni was very respected post as I heard, and means not a Siddhi Muni and Rishi. So Munis and Rishis are very respected post, but here it was written that Nasal Rishi Yasya Matam Na Bhinnam. So it means that who is discovering new philosophies, he is Rishi or he is Muni.
Yes, like PhD degree. PhD degree respectable post. How many people can give their own opinion? But Krishna is the supreme person of Godhead. Is there any research is required? So who is better? You want to search, those searching, giving thesis, PhD degree. They are better. And who has accepts? Guru Maharaj told, Bhagavad Gita said, Krishna is God, we accept. Who is more intelligent? PhD? You want to know Krishna through PhD degree or from his spiritual master mouth? Who is intelligent?
Devotee is intelligent.
Yes. Yeah, might be the respectful post, rishis and munis. But out of the Sthitati Muni, among the munis, those who are understood this absolute truth, they are actually real Muni. Sthitati Muni. Okay.
Thank you for this.
Muni word is not is bad thing like they are very top position. But in consideration the material consideration, they are very top. But in regard to this comparison with the devotee, there is not very high cost. Okay.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dhanvat Pranams.
Yeah.
Maharaj, I want to know the difference between complete delusion arises after anger and then from delusion, bewilderment of memory. So I'm not able to understand the difference, delusion and bewilderment of memory.
Yeah, like maybe in English there is proper term, Sanskrit the term is there. Like you can see if you boil the sugar cane juice, from boiling sugar cane juice, it will make a molasses. Good. And in the middle, so many thickening, 70% thickening, 80, 90% thickening. You can give separate name or may not give name. Maybe in Vedic literature, maybe 7 steps name is there. But English dictionary, all are one. So you cannot compare with them. So in Sanskrit, in Hindi language, and like male, female, there is मैं करूंगी male is one. But in English dictionary is not like that. English language is not like that. In the same way, this terminology, like if you go so roti, bha, prem, all these steps, which what you can apply from English language? And Prabhupada has put some languages, but every language is not there. Like how you know Ross, mellow. Prabhupada is mellow. But in Ross, English, there is no such terminology as Ross. But in Sanskrit, tomorrow will read that.
Understood.
Kamat krodha abhijayate. Krodhat bhavati sammoho. Sammat siti vibhrama. Siti bhangshat buddhinasha. Buddhinashat pranashyati. That you could try to see English, Sanskrit, not try to see with English language. Like God and demigod, Devata and Bhagavan. Don't try to see English language. English language both will say God. If you explain to someone, this is, he'll ask, what is the difference between God, demigod, why both are God? So it is weakness of that language.
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Bhava. Srila Prabhupada ki, Bhagavad Gita as it is, Gaur Pranam.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dhanvat Pranam.
Hare Krishna,